Quick little disclaimer before I get into this video. My first two guests were filmed before week 7, and this video is obviously going up after week 7. So I hope you guys enjoy them. If you don't want to watch them, just skip halfway through the video and watch the rest of it. Thanks for all the love and support, guys. I hope you guys enjoy this video. All right, welcome back to another 603 Football Podcast. We're here with Camden from Timberland. Cam, do you want to tell us a little bit about how Timberland season's going so far this year?
Yeah, I think we're doing pretty good. We've had some good competition, but I think with our first year back in D1, we're making the statement that we wanted to.
So looking at your schedule so far, you guys have played Manchester Memorial, win 41-13. Week 2, a loss to Bishop Girton 23-20. Week 3, at Winnacunnet, win 28-12. Home against Keene 42-14. Home against Exeter 27-23. And last week at Goffstown 42-13. And tomorrow night, is it tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow night at 7.
Playing Spalding. Spalding team that is on a 2-game losing streak, but they can easily snap. Then you're home against Dover for your senior night, and then at Portsmouth Oyster River to end the year. How do you feel about the 13 teams making the playoffs this year?
I like it. I think it'll give teams a better chance of making the playoffs, and it's not the usual same teams that make it every year. I think it'll give some other teams some hope to work harder for it.
So I don't know if you saw my breakdown or not, but I did post it today or last night.
Yeah,
It
I
was
think I did read it.
Timberlane is number 3 with Londonderry at 1, Bishop Girton at 2. So that means you guys would have a bye, and then you'd play. I don't even know how it would go from there, but that's what it's looking like right now. But you guys have to win out to pretty much contain that because Spalding and Dover can both sneak in and along with Exeter. Um, Now that big win over Exeter 2 weeks ago, 27-23. How was that experience to go out there and beat them on your home field?
I think that was a huge win for us. We all knew going in that if we wanted to make ourselves known as a top team in D1, we would have to beat one of the top teams in D1. So I think we came out physical and just played our game.
Now, looking ahead, you have Spalding, Dover, Portsmouth, Oyster River, all three interconference divisional games. Are you excited for those three? What one are you most excited for?
I'm excited for all three of them. We did scrimmage Portsmouth in the preseason, so I think seeing them and seeing how they've improved over the season and having them see us improve will be a fun game to play, definitely.
You also committed very early, in my opinion, to a school that is very good at football. Bates, you want to tell us a little bit about how that process went and what what that looked like for you and why you picked that school?
Yeah, I definitely picked it because I believe new head coach, Coach Coyne. I love his philosophy. I love what he believes in. I just showed up at camps and I worked my hardest, and they definitely noticed me as a good player. So I visited their school and I just got close to them as close as I could, and I made my final decision.
Now you're one of the only kids that I know that have committed this early into the year. Usually this is when the offers start to roll in about this time, and then kids will make a decision in early December. What made you decide in August to say you're going there set in stone?
Well, I knew that Bates. I'm excited for their future. Very good academic school. I know that I'll get a good education there, and getting it out of the way early will give me a chance to enjoy my senior year, enjoy my football season, and just have fun with my guys.
And not have to worry about committing. So
Exactly.
now going back to last year, you guys won the Division 2 championship. How was that experience as a junior to go out and win and then move up to Division 1 and really still compete and be a top dog in Division 1 this year?
It was really exciting. We had a special group of guys that have been together for a while, and I think we all knew that we had something special together. So every week we just worked as hard as we could to get that done, and I think the end result was really rewarding.
Now going back to week 2, a loss against Bishop Girton, 23-20. How was that game? Like, how do you guys approach it? Halftime, you guys are losing. You come out and you make a very late comeback, almost pull it off, but just fell short. Was that like a building experience, a learning experience? Like, how has that affected you guys a few weeks later on in the year?
It was definitely a learning experience. Bishop Girton, obviously a very physical football team. We knew we had to go out physical from the start. It didn't go the way we wanted to, but at halftime, we got it together. We understood that if we were going to have a chance to win, we'd have to play physical football and do our assignment. And I think even though we didn't win, we still gave ourselves that thought that we are able to hang with these top teams.
Now, besides Bishop Girton, what would you say was your toughest opponent through 6 weeks of action so far?
Definitely I'd say the top two have been BG and Exeter. All the other ones, they're Division 1 football, so obviously they're gonna have some physical guys and a few guys that did give us some problems. But I think Bishop Girton and Exeter definitely.
Now, going into the season, a lot of people thought Goffstown was going to be a really good team again this year. To go out there and beat them 42-13, that's going to be a pretty special feeling after them being a really good team the past 2 seasons.
Yeah, we were definitely ready to play them. Obviously, we weren't going to take them lightly because we know they're past. So it was just exciting to get that outcome.
Now, 2 huge wins over Winnicott and Keene in week 3 and 4. Um, I thought Keene was going to be better than they were this year, and same with Winnicott after losing a big senior group last year. But they do have one monster on the defensive side of the ball. Wouldn't you agree with me on that statement?
Yeah, Jake Fredericks is definitely a good football player. We definitely had to do some game planning for him.
Now, did you ever have to match up against him in the game or no?
Um, I don't believe I did. Maybe one time on defense, but I think he was mostly on the other side of the ball.
Who would you say, if you had to give props to one person you played against all year, was the hardest person you have blocked all year?
Uh, most of them, I'd probably have to say BG. That was probably my toughest game. I think he's number 52. I forget his name, but
Jacob Baker?
yeah, Baker. He was definitely a wake up call for me about what D1 football is about.
Yeah, he's an animal. Um, Looking ahead one more time, Spalding, Dover, Portsmouth, Oyster River. What game are you looking forward to the most out of those three?
I mean they're all going to be good games. I know Spalding has a good atmosphere up there, as well as Dover is going to be for senior night, and then finishing off the season at Portsmouth, where we started that matchup in the preseason.
Now, do you think a bye will help you guys come after week 9, or will it affect you guys and be like, all right, we can rest up and kind of relax, or would you rather just keep your foot on the gas and just go?
I definitely think bye week is beneficial for our team. We do have some guys that are a little banged up after week to week, and I think that an extra week of rest and really going back to the basics for our fundamentals will help us in the long run.
Thank you, Camden, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you, appreciate it.
With my next guest, we have Trevor Darice from Salem, offense and defensive lineman. Trevor, you want to tell us a little bit about how you guys' season's going so far?
We're off to a little bit of a rough start. We started off beating Manchester Central, and then we're on like a 5-loss streak right now. But we're looking to beat Concord and then Alvern, and hopefully push ourselves into the playoffs.
So I believe with a win over Concord and Alvern, you guys could possibly get in. With a huge win week 1 over Manchester Central, 35-7. A loss against Bedford in week 2, 17-0. A loss to Exeter in week 3, 35-15. A loss at Wyndham on their blackout night, 20-14. A loss at Pinkerton, 27-0. And a loss last week out of state, 41-13. Looking ahead, you guys have Concord this week, Alvern next week, and then Londonderry to wrap up in week 9. Out of the 6 opponents you guys have played so far, what would you say was the toughest one you guys have faced all year?
Uh, Honestly, Massachusetts is pretty tough, and Exeter and Bedford. Honestly, and Wyndham. It was a whole. They were all tough teams. Massachusetts, the mass out of state team. They had like 12 D1 like people getting recruited. Wyndham and Exeter and Bedford, all tough teams. Pinkerton, they like I wouldn't say they're our toughest opponent, but they definitely had us beat and definitely played way better than us.
So with the lone win against Manchester Central, I don't know if you saw my Instagram post, but I believe there is still a chance you guys could get in with the 13 team format. You guys have a 12 rating right now. You guys would need to get up to like around a 40, and with a big win over Concord this week, that could get you guys in if you guys can hold on and beat them this week. Out of the 3 games left, what game are you looking forward to the most?
Probably this Concord one. It's our home game. Um, it's a beatable team, but also like it's not a pushover team, so it'll just be a fun game, hopefully.
Now, looking back to last year, you guys were a really good team, really talented, really great senior group last year. What would you say you learned the most from that group last year, and trying to teach the young kids this year?
They all work together really well, and they've been playing like their whole lives. So it was pretty great that I got to play with them last year. That's kind of one thing Salem's kind of lacking this year is we can't really fit together well. Like we're all friends on the team, we all play well, but like we're not like binding together pretty well. But it's just something we need to work on to get better and beat Concord and all the rest of our games.
Now, with your senior year winding down, you played all 4 years of high school football. What was your favorite moment out of the 4 years you played?
That's a tough one. Um, Favorite moment. I don't know. Maybe like my sophomore year going to the semifinals against Nashua North. We lost, but it was just a good atmosphere, and I enjoyed. I didn't play, but I enjoyed watching the game.
Now, looking back to the Wyndham game, 20-14, you guys lost at their Black Oak Cancer Night. You guys tied the game up 14-14, right?
Yep.
And then they went down and scored, and then you guys got the ball back and obviously didn't score to tie it or take the lead to go into overtime or win it. Looking back on that one, what would you say was the toughest part of that game to be able to come out and try and win?
I think the toughest part was just probably like, obviously it's the Black Oak game. It's one of the biggest games in New Hampshire each year. Like we have the whole atmosphere of Wyndham just getting cheered on for them. It's 14-14 with like 3 minutes left and they have the ball. It's just kind of hard to get your mind right. And then there's just little mistakes. Everyone was doing little mistakes and we just couldn't really pull it out.
Now, to piggyback off what you just said, the atmosphere. So you've already played all your 4 away games this year at Manchester Central, at Bedford, at Wyndham, and at Pinkerton. Where was the toughest place to play?
Toughest place. Probably Bedford, honestly, because they had a really good atmosphere in student section for Bedford, and it was their first home game. Like it was just all there, loud, each play.
Well, Trevor, thank you, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you for having me.
All right, guys, with my next guest, we have Mcioni and Isaiah Reese of Guilford, Belmont. As of right now, the number 1 seed in Division 2. You guys want to tell us a little bit about you guys and how your season's going so far?
Yeah, we are 7-0 as of right now. We just came off a win against Merrimack Valley. Wasn't our best game, but we came out with the win, and we're looking forward to Hanover this week.
Isaiah?
Yeah, it wasn't. It was this past weekend wasn't our best weekend, but we're moved past that and we're on Hanover now. So
Now, so you guys are the 1 seed as of right now, because you guys with 92 ratings, Souhegan at 2 with an 86, Pelham 78, Bow as a 4, Hanover at the 5, St. Thomas at the 6, Plymouth at the 7, Kennett at the 8. On the outside looking in, we have Milford at the 9, Merrimack Valley at the 10, Pembroke at 11, Sanborn at 12, and John Stark at 13. So to break it down a little bit more for you guys, so you guys pretty much have the number 1 locked up as long as you guys win this week, I believe. And if Souhegan loses to Pelham. Isaiah, you want to tell us a little bit of your stats this year? Because I know they're kind of crazy.
So I'm pretty sure I'm like top 10 rushing, and then I think I'm top 3 passing, right? I don't know. I haven't checked.
Yeah, I believe so.
All right, so I'm just like taking what I can get. I'm just trying to help my team win as best as I can.
Now, can we go back a few weeks ago to when you guys played Plymouth? Logan Grant. He had a hell of a game against Plymouth and helped you guys with a big victory, 35-14. Was that the first time in program history you guys beat them?
Yeah, first time.
Yeah.
So you want to talk about that connection you guys have now? Like, were you just like, I know he's gonna go up and get it, or was it a design play for him?
Well, we're just taking what they gave us, but like me and Logan have built that connection throughout the off season and last year, because like we're in the same grade. We've been boys for a couple years now, so we just have that connection going for us.
Now, Michael, I'll ask you. The Laconia game 3 weeks back, 20-7. I saw the score. I believe they scored first, correct?
Yes, they did. Yeah.
Now, when I saw that, I was like, is Laconia going to beat them? And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, there's no way they're going to pop off. They're going to do something crazy and end up winning this game. You guys pulled it out 20-7, but were they a really good team? I mean, they're not even in playoff contention as of right now, but or was it just one of those games where it was a rivalry game and you know they're going to come out and give it your all?
They definitely have some good athletes on that team. They got Drew Hosmer, they have Keaton Beck, and they're really good athletes. And I think what our problem was mainly on defense. I think it was just really hard for us. We couldn't stop the counter. Drew Hosmer's just had a great game. I think he had like 200 plus rushing yards, and he had a hell of a game. But he was just really hard to stop. But I think we kind of came out a little bit flat that game. But that was just my opinion and my perspective from it.
Now you guys want to just touch back on last week against Merrimack Valley. It was 13-6. And their best player got taken out at around halftime with 180 rushing yards. Did you guys game plan for him, or was he just one of those players that you guys had no idea was going to come out and just play one hell of a game?
We knew he was good. We were expecting him to be good. I think personally we were looking past this weekend. We thought we could get an easy W. And I think we looked past this weekend. MV's a great team. They're a good team. But we looked past it, and we were more focused on Hanover, I think, than Merrimack Valley this week.
Yeah, I agree with Isaiah. We were just focused on the next week instead of the present moment.
Now, Isaiah, your twin brother, correct, is a receiver
No,
for you guys?
he's not my twin. He's not my twin.
He's not your twin?
He's 18. I'm 16.
Is he a senior right now?
He's a senior. I'm a junior, yeah.
All right, so someone said that you guys were twins. So how has that been being able to play with your brother for 3 years?
He actually didn't play last year. He broke his foot, so he was out for the whole entire season. He was actually supposed to be the starting quarterback. He was supposed to be quarterback last year, but since he broke his foot, he wasn't able to. So I stepped into his role, and it's kind of a weird thing. But freshman year, we didn't really play much together, and then this is like our first year like fully playing together.
Okay. So how many seniors do you guys have? Because you guys seem to be a big junior class, right?
Yeah, Isaiah, how many do you think we have? We have like, I think it's like 10 we have, maybe 9 or 10, I think.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
So you guys will be reloading and looking to have another great year going into next year. Looking back again, Kennett win, Sanborn win, Bow win, Pembroke win, Laconia win, Plymouth win, Merrimack Valley win. What was your toughest opponent, would you guys say, thus far throughout the year?
Merrimack
Ooh.
Valley.
Yeah, probably Merrimack Valley.
Now, was
Just
it
'cause
they were good, or were you guys just overlooking them?
I think we overlooked them. We came out kind of flat. Like I noticed, like the energy level at the start of the game was nowhere near what it was for all the other games we played, all the other 6 games we played. But yeah, I think we just like I feel like we could have, if we came out with a little bit more energy, and we could have put the score up like more in the first half. And I just felt like we just like weren't our best that game, but we didn't we played slow is what I'm basically
I
trying
think
to say.
I think it was a combination of they were good, we looked past them, and then we didn't have enough energy. We returned the first kickoff for a touchdown, and then we all thought it was going to be a breeze from there, and then they kind of buckled down, and then they came at us, and then we weren't ready for that.
Yeah.
Now, looking ahead to this week, Hanover, you cannot look past them. They're 6-1 with their lone loss to Souhegan, as they lost quarterback Roger Lucas, and I believe he is playing this week against you guys. How will you guys like be preparing for them to play on Saturday?
We'll
We
probably
just
do it. Oh, Isaiah, you got it.
we need a good week of practice first, and we need to really recognize this running back. He's a great player. I think he's ahead of me in rushing. So we got to realize they're athletes, and then we got to be able to stop them.
Now, I have one other question. Have you guys been trailing at all this year or no?
Seven to six Plymouth.
So you
Yeah,
guys were
that-
trailing. So you were trailing once at one point this whole year. How did your team respond to being down for the first time all year?
We didn't really think much of it. It was early in the game. We weren't too worried. We're just gonna keep running our stuff, keep doing what we do.
Well, guys, thank you, and good luck the rest of the way. And I'm sure I'll have you guys on again later on down the year. And I look forward to watching you guys play.
All right, thank
All
you for
right,
having
thank you.
With my next guest, guys, we have Romy Jane of Souhegan. A big week for Souhegan this week as they play Pelham at home. Romy, want to tell us a little bit about you guys' season so far, as you've already been on this show this year?
Yes. So solid season for definitely 7-0 right now. Just haven't played like any really good competition yet, so we're really looking forward to this week against Pelham and looking to play a really good team and beat them.
So looking back since the last time I had you on, you guys have played Hollis, Hanover, Plymouth, and Lebanon. Only allowing 6 points over the past 4 games, which is crazy. Hanover, which is 6-1 right now, only scored on you guys once. Now they did lose quarterback Roger Lucas against you guys. Obviously, I watched the game and I saw it. How was that to be able to go out and finish a game after seeing something like that happen on the field?
It was definitely tough seeing how it happened and seeing the ambulance go on the field and everything. But just as a team, we had to regroup and just focus on still getting that win. And after like the 30-minute like intermission, like we just had to get back into it and like just put them away.
So obviously, a lot of people thought that was going to be a much closer game than it was. I seem to think in the first half it was closer than the score resembles. Would you agree with that statement?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I just think for us that was one of like, I mean, Milford was also like one of the more tougher games we played, but definitely like Hanover was like one of the first teams where we've actually had to like fight and play 4 quarters, and it was definitely they were definitely a really good team, but I still think we were the better team at the end of the day.
So it's very interesting. Pelham played Milford this past week in week 7. Pretty much the same exact score as you guys had against them. They beat them 35-13. You guys beat them 41-14. So this
Yeah.
matchup is going to be a crazy one, as you guys will most likely be playing for the 1 or 2 seed.
Yeah.
And then the loser will probably bump down to 3. But this game is huge. Maybe the game of the year in the whole state. It's going to be crazy. A great quarterback matchup between Romy and Jake Travis. Both work out with Trevor Knight. Obviously, you know Jake and you know a few of the boys over in Pelham. So how is it going to be to play against some of your friends and just go out there and compete?
Oh yeah, definitely during off season, they're my guys. We're just looking to get better as like a football player and like rooting for each other. But once we get there out on Friday night, they're enemies and we're looking to beat them. So
No, it is you guys' senior night. How many seniors do you guys have this year?
I gotta think about that one. We have quite a few seniors this year, so I think we have like 9 seniors this year.
Looking to make it a memorable senior night for those boys this year.
Yeah, definitely.
Then looking ahead past Pelham, you have John Stark at John Stark for probably their senior day on Saturday, and then going into the playoffs. So 8 teams make the playoffs. We can break it down really fast, and I can tell you who's in, who's out. So I broke it down earlier. Once I can pull it up, there we go. You guys right now are the 2 seed behind Guilford, Belmont. You guys have a rating of 102. Pelham has a 98 rating. Bow 94. So not many teams from your side of the division are in the playoffs. I believe it's just you, Pelham, and Hanover. As the other side is Guilford, Belmont, Bow, St. Thomas, Kennett, and Plymouth. And then on the outside looking in, Milford, John Stark are on your side of the bracket as well. Obviously, you guys have cruised this far this season, but what has been your toughest opponent so far through 7 weeks of action?
Right now, just thinking, I feel like Hanover was the best team we've played and the toughest team. They just they could kind of match us for personnel wise, and they were physical. Yeah, they were physical and they had the size up front. And but I just think we were just still the better team. We had better coaching. I think that we were more disciplined, and I think but that was definitely the toughest game we played this year.
To touch on the coaching aspect, I think this week's matchup between the 2 coaches is going to be amazing. 2 of the best coaches in the division, both heavy defensive guys that love the defensive side of the ball, and I think it's going to be a cat and mouse game, back and forth the whole game. I think it's going to be a really close one. You guys obviously throw the ball a good amount. Pelham's more of a run-heavy team with running back Ethan Demons, and you guys have J.J. Bright in the backfield. How do you think that matchup's going to be with J.J. and Demons going at it?
I mean, just like even though JJ is probably one of the best running backs in the state,
Yep.
even him on defense is really good. I feel like he's also one of the best linebackers in the state, so I feel like he will match up against that Pelham running back, and he'll be able to match him perfectly. And yeah, he's just a lethal player.
So Pelham also has not allowed many points this year. Defense has been dominant for them so far, along with you guys. I'm comparing you guys' numbers right now, and it's kind of a shootout. You guys are right up there with each other. It's going to be an amazing game, and I'm hoping for a great one on Friday night, as I will be there. But Pelham ends with Hanover after you guys, and the winner of this will most likely be the 2 seed because Guilford Belmont has more points. That's just how it works this year. So you will be playing for home field advantage if you guys end up matching up against each other again, because most likely we'll end up seeing each other again in the playoffs. Are you looking forward to playoffs, or are you kind of just focusing on this week?
Oh yeah, I mean, definitely just focusing on this week. Yeah, and just like I said, just going 1-0 every week. And yeah, we're just really focused on winning this game this week, and we're not really focused on playoff standings yet and all that stuff. So yeah, just this week and having a great week of practice in this game.
Well, Romy, I wish you the best of luck this weekend. I'll see you Friday night. Good luck.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
With my next guest, we have Memphis Patterson from Pelham, star offensive defensive lineman. Memphis, want to tell us a little bit about your season so far?
Our season's doing pretty good so far. We've came together pretty good as a team here. Just looking forward to keep going, and we got like 5 more games left that we have on our schedule here.
So this week you have Souhegan at Souhegan and then at Hanover. What game are you looking forward to the most?
Both, but definitely Souhegan. A lot of talk, a lot of hype coming into this game. I can say it's almost like a kid on Christmas here, counting down the minutes, counting down, the hours, the days to we step on that field.
So to this point, you guys are 7-0, not allowing many scores thus far through the year. What opponent has been the toughest in your opinion through 7 games of action?
Had to be last week's game versus Milford. I'm not going to discredit Milford, but we had a lot of distractions coming into that game, and our heads were very out of that game. But Milford was a very physical team, and they played really well against us.
They seem to throw the ball pretty well against you guys. Do you guys think you'll struggle against Souhegan through the air this week, or will you guys lock it down?
We're hoping to lock that down. Gonna assume a lot of DB practice this week and practice, running, getting the routes going, just locking them up. And our defense line was pretty good. We had a lot of pressure on number 10 here. He was a good player. We're looking to do the same for Souhegan.
How do you prepare yourself and your team for a big game like this with all the media distractions?
Just log off, read anything you see, just scroll right past that and go on to the next thing. We just focus on film, focus on the players as a team here, lock in.
Now, besides Milford, no one really gave you guys a true test. Only John Stark putting up 14 against you guys, but you guys put up 55. What opponent besides Milford was probably the toughest?
Let's see. I'd have to probably put John Stark up there. Our varsity, up until Milford, hasn't played in the third quarter yet. So Milford really put that challenge on us, taking us pretty much to middle of the fourth quarter before we can start taking our varsity out. But that was a much-needed game as Souhegan and Hanover are both really great teams, and we're expecting to play 4 quarters versus them.
All right, well, good luck the rest of the way, Memphis, and I look forward to talking to you again as we almost roll into the playoffs.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for having me on.